Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Video Game Beat. My name's Rob, and today we are covering the week's news of December 14th through the 18th. And I gotta say, something that I've been noticing throughout all of the games industry is one thing and one thing only. Cyberpunk cannot seem to stop messing up and continuing to be in the news on a constant basis. I try not to listen to too much video game podcasts just so since I do one, I don't want to allow my own thoughts and opinions to be swayed by listening to a lot of other people. But everything that I've been seeing in regards to video game podcasts and stories every single day are all led with Cyberpunk news. And so again, I'm starting this podcast off a lot different than I usually do because I usually have a whole rigmarole, which we'll get into right now. But I just want to let you guys know at the front of this entire episode, it's going to be a very heavy Cyberpunk video, just because of the fact that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories all within this week alone that Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red related, and it's unbelievable. The things that have been happening this week, I've literally had to stop. I've been talking to some friends and just sharing with them my thoughts on like, this is just absolutely bizarre and crazy, and I've never seen this before. So before we get into the stories, again, this is a Video Game Beat, guys. This is a weekly video game podcast that you can find on all podcast services. Don't forget to follow them there and share them with your friends. Along with that, if you like a more visual kind of way of getting your content, you can go to youtube.com at Ambitious Casual. You can find the videos there. And I'm going to be actually experimenting a little bit with this series and starting a new series within it called Video Game Beat Bits. And so I'll be pulling the stories individually and posting them on the YouTube channel. That way they're more bite-sized and people can probably, are more willing to sit down and actually watch or listen to a video on a certain subject that they're really into. I've just been noticing my numbers analytically have been averaging around 15 minutes, and that's just the first story of every podcast. So I kind of want to break them down so that way people can actually get through the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and maybe even seventh and eighth stories within a week. So yeah, but without further ado, again, Video Game Beat, we're here, we're in it. Let's go. This is story number 1. And again, this is story number 1 with 7 stories underneath it. This is the Cyberpunk 2077 Power Hour, dude. This is unbelievable. This is an unbelievable time. We are here in the time of 2020. We didn't think it could get any worse. And the one glowing light at the end for a lot of people, not for me, I was never really interested in even playing or at all anything related with Cyberpunk 2077, but to a lot of people, this was the big thing. This was going to be the holiday game that they were going to be hoping to play over the holidays and, that big last push for the year 2020. And it is not delivering on a whole lot of fronts for a whole lot of people. And a lot of people are mad. A lot of confusion is going on. And so much just, how can CDPR mess up so bad? CDPR has messed up so bad. They've had so much goodwill with their game, with their fan base. They would throw in thank you notes in the video games for The Witcher 3. They gave out free DLC. Like, they had so much goodwill. And now, due to Cyberpunk 2077, I'm not quite sure if they can get that goodwill back. I'm not sure at all. And I gotta say, Cyberpunk 2077, they messed up bad. And I'm not sure if they can recover. Starting from the top, we got flat apologies. This is coming straight. All these stories are from IGN under Cyberpunk, just because I kind of wanted to just melt them all together for one. All the other stories are from different news sites, but these are all from IGN. I just compiled everything from there, and then we're going to go from there. Again, if you guys want to find the links, they're going to be in the description down below or in the podcast bios. So go check them out if you guys want to go see the stories yourselves. So, flat apologies. Again, this comes from IGN's Joe Screbbles, and it begins like this. CD Projekt Red has apologized for not showing the base PS4 and Xbox One versions of Cyberpunk 2077 before launch, promised more patches, and offered refunds to those unsatisfied. Now, we're going to continue this. There's a big point in this one, but we're going to continue this. In a statement on Twitter, this is what they said. First of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Second, we will fix bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience. The first round of updates has just been released and the next one is coming within the next 7 days. Expect more, as we will update frequently whatever new improvements are ready. After the holidays, we'll continue working. We'll release 2 large patches starting with patch number 1 in January. This will be followed by patch number 2 in February. Together, they should fix the most prominent problems games are facing in last-gen consoles. We'll be informing you about the contents of each patch ahead of the release. They won't make the game on last-gen look like it's running on a high-spec PC or next-gen console, but it will be closer to that experience than it is now. And there's a bit more on the rest of the story that you can go read if you want to. This is straight from Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter account, okay? Now, I want to make note of something here, okay? And this is why I'm calling this flat apologies. This is what they start off with. First of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last gen consoles. They're not sorry. They're not sorry at all. They're not. They can't act like they knew that it just didn't cross their mind. Oh, totally forgot to show you on last gen consoles what this game looked like. They're not gonna do that. They knew from the very beginning that this game was not gonna run on last gen consoles. That's why everything was being shown on the new hardware. It was practically the PC gaming that we were seeing the entire time, rezzed up on such a max PC. They weren't going to show PlayStation 4 and Xbox One gameplay. Why? Because if we saw that gameplay or we saw any of that before pre-orders went up or anything like that, no one will want to get the game because it looks garbage. The game, unfortunately, looks so garbage, and I don't understand why they are even able to just come out and say things like this. It just doesn't make any sense, and honestly, it just boggles my mind. I don't know how they can think, or CD Projekt Red. I don't know how CD Projekt Red, they went, like I said, they had such goodwill with their fan base, and they go and they trash that, making all of us think that we're dumb and wanting to believe, oh, you just didn't realize, oh, you totally forgot to show us last gen video on how this game looked. Like, oh, that's okay. No, we can't forgive that because you know what's going on. You're working on the game. You know your game better than anybody else. You knew it was not ready. That's the reason why whenever this last delay happened, the delay was all intended into trying to fix the game and get it working on last gen hardware. It was complete and ready to go for PCs. It's complete. Not even next gen updates for the PS5 and Xbox Series X are even out. So all we have is for PC and last gen consoles. And if you're playing on new gen consoles, then what is going on is that it is not up-resing, but you are kind of like just playing on a stronger console that may help it here or there, but overall not really changing the experience so much. So again, they knew what they were doing. They can't act like they didn't know what was going on. They knew, and unfortunately, we're not going to take that. We can't take that at all. And with that, you're like, okay, so if this was the problem, why didn't you delay it? Okay, again, like I said, this is from IGN again, Joe Screbbles. CD Projekt Red has said that it didn't feel any unusual external or internal pressure to launch Cyberpunk 2077 on December 10th. In an unscheduled investor call, senior members of CD Projekt were asked whether the company felt they had to release the game before 2021. SVP of Business Development Michael Nowakowski replied, "I wouldn't say that we felt any external or internal pressure to launch on the date, other than the normal pressure, which is typical for any release." My thing is this. They didn't feel any pressure? No, what they saw was that they had over $8 million possibly in pre-orders. Like we know that they literally, the week that the game was released, they made it a point. There's a reason why they wanted to make it a point that they made $8 million, or they sold 8 million copies, my bad. They sold 8 million copies of the game and have already got their money back and paying for ads and for the game. So they're in the black now. They're in the black. They already got all their money back that they needed. There's a reason why they didn't have to delay. They saw that the numbers were coming up. If they were to delay it one more time, then no one will continue trying to buy this game. It's unbelievable. And on top of all this, we know, and this is not a story, we've covered this before in the past, we know that copies, the review copies for this game were only for PC. They weren't for consoles. Why would they do that? The only reason why they would do that is so that way the people who are reviewing the games are playing the game on the absolute best hardware that they can, and it wouldn't muddy the review at all. we can see even through IGN, for instance. IGN, if I'm not mistaken, gave the game a 9 out of 10. You go back right now, and they gave out a new review for last gen consoles, and that score is 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. CD Projekt Red knew what they were doing. If they were to give all review sites console codes along with PC codes, then we would be having a completely different conversation right now, because then everyone would have known that this game was a 4 out of 10 on last gen hardware. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They didn't want to delay the game because they wanted to make as much money as they could as quickly as possible before the end of the year. That's why they didn't want to do that. It's unbelievable. We're continuing on. Messy messaging. This is, again, IGN, Joe Scrabbles. You be forgiven for forgetting, but eons pass. Well, June, as Cyberpunk received its second delay, CD Projekt led an explanatory letter to fans with the words, "Ready when it's done is not just a phrase when we say because it sounds right. It's something we live by even when we know we'll take the heat." This was back in June when they had to delay it again. And they said, this is what they said, "Ready when it's done is not just a phrase we say because it sounds right. It's something we live by even when we know we'll take the heat for it." Well, obviously, guys, you do not believe that whatsoever because it was not ready, and you knew it. You knew it. It wasn't ready. Joe Scrabbles continues, "Yesterday in an emergency board meeting amid an increasingly disastrous launch, we got a statement that bellied that approach and even referenced it directly. After 3 delays, we as the management board were too focused on releasing the game." Heck yeah, you were. "We underestimated the scale and complexity of the issues. We ignored the signals about the need for additional time to refine the game on the base last-gen consoles. It was the wrong approach and against our business philosophy." Guys, I want to make this clear before you're watching this video and you want to go in the comments, or you want to go on Twitter, you want to go on any social media platform and start berating CD Projekt Red or anything like that. First things first, do not blame the developers. The people who make this game have nothing to do with this. They didn't direct it. They're doing their job and they're doing what they need to do. Obviously, based off of these things, they were not given perfect direction. They were under time crunch. They were under so much pressure to try to get this game out as quickly as possible. Don't believe the lies. Don't believe the lies. On top of all that, you have to blame 100% this on management. I'm telling you right now, somewhere over there in CD Projekt Red, someone is either losing their job or something like that up in management because someone really dropped the ball somewhere and really twist and lied about certain things to get this game out there as quickly as possible. And I can't believe it actually happened. Now, something that I do want to bring up though is this. We saw at the very beginning of the year, there was conversations going on between Bloomberg and Jason Schreier. And it was between him and some employees from CD Projekt Red. They were unnamed, stating about the crunch that was going on within the studio. I don't know if you guys remember that. Go check out the stories. You can find them easily on the internet. Jason Schreier, good at reporting this kind of stuff. The one thing that I'm very interested though is this. Within all those things that were being talked about, none of the employees ever stated, yeah, there's crunch going on and this game is not even done. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about the fact that these conversations were happening between the development team and Jason Schreier? They didn't care about what was conversating back and forth because obviously they were leaking the fact that crunch was bad within the company. But none of the employees ever said anything like, yo, so they're making us crunch, but this game isn't actually doing too well. No matter what they're saying, this game isn't doing well. Because no matter what, Jason Schreier would have made that known. He would have made that known. So to me, what makes me wonder is, did all of the employees even know how bad this game was? You have to understand that with a big company like CD Projekt Red, there's so many arms going on that sometimes this is your task and then you just move it on to the next person and you just keep working. And there had to be there's no way that everyone knew that this game was that bad. Everyone putting it together probably knew, like the people at the far end of the pipeline. But when you're so far up and you're working on these assets or you're doing this and you're just working and not necessarily able to see the finished product, it's believable that they probably didn't even know. So again, I want to know what your thoughts are on that particular thing in the comments down below, because it's an interesting thing to think about. Again, I could be wrong, but something to think about. We're continuing. Again, this is not ending, guys. This is not ending at all. This whole refund debacle, I can't even with this whole thing, dude. I don't think we've seen a game released this bad before, ever. Anthem wasn't this bad. Uh, Fallout 76 wasn't this bad. No Man's Sky wasn't even this bad. And even going as far as No Man's Sky has had a redemption story. Can CD Projekt Red do the same thing? We will see. I'm pretty sure they can, but we will see. We will see. This continues with a refund debacle. Okay, we're back again. IGN. This is from Matt Kim. In the wake of the performance woes for Cyberpunk 2077 on older generation consoles like the base PS4 and Xbox One, CD Projekt Red promised players they are eligible for a refund if they're not satisfied with the performance of the game. The only problem is actually getting the refund. Here's the thing. These problems were happening. CD Projekt Red said, all right, go get the refund. Go get a refund. They kept telling everybody, well, go to your respective providers of how you got the game and get your refund that you want. That's not how that works. You literally cannot just say go get your refund from PlayStation. PlayStation doesn't work that way. PlayStation has a very strict refund policy, along with so many other companies. There's refund policies, guys. Like, you cannot do that. You cannot just speak and expect it to be done. It's like CD Projekt Red is trying so hard to just be like, there's so many problems. Okay, just go take a problem over here. Let them figure it out. And you can tell right now, not a lot of people are really wanting that, or they're not going to have it either. Especially PlayStation, which we'll get into a story in a little bit, that really shows off the fact that PlayStation has no chill going on in regards to what is wrong right now. What is wrong right now with CDPR? We're going to continue the story. Unfortunately, despite the statement, there doesn't appear to be a special arrangement for CD Projekt Cyberpunk 2077 refunds with PSN or Xbox. Again, I'm reading these stories throughout the week, so as we progress within these more, I'm going to start clarifying some things for you guys, okay? They are allowing refunds now, but I'm going through the stories as they released. So this means customers are actually dealing with the standard refund policies of the respective stores and might not be eligible for refunds at all. On Twitter, we see a couple people saying that they tried getting a refund through Sony. Again, it was refused. Sony has a very, very strict policy in regards to customers have 14 days from the purchase to request a refund, given that they have not started downloading or streaming the purchased game. A lot of these people were already playing the game before they even wanted a refund, so it's already too late for them. Why would they get a refund? That's not how PlayStation works. It's just, this is so unprofessional on so many fronts. Like, how can CD Projekt just do this? It's just mind-boggling, dude. It's just so mind-boggling. And I feel so bad for the developers of this company, because not only does it reflect badly on the company itself, but it also just makes you look bad as an employee for the company. For you to leave this company and be like, yeah, I'm from CD Projekt Red, and you'd be like, whoa, that company? The one that really screwed everyone over? Yeah, I don't know. All right, buddy. Continuing this story, we are on Sony removes Cyberpunk 20. I can't. When you thought this story couldn't get any worse, to have one of the big giants literally take a step out and be like, we're done. We're not going to have this. PlayStation pulls Cyberpunk 2077 from the PlayStation Store. And this was one of the things that when this happened, my heart literally dropped, because I was like, what the heck is going on now? Like, I just saw the headline, but I was like, what is going on, guys? For this to get this out of hand, that PlayStation was like, for the sake of our own reputation, get the game off our site. We're not going to worry about this. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This is coming again from IGN. This is from Jonathan Dornbush. CD Projekt Red has vowed to bring Cyberpunk 2077 back to PlayStation Store as soon as possible in statement to players. This was on Twitter. You guys can go see the update over there. This is practically the response to PlayStation removing the game from the store. Now, when it first happened, no one really knew if even CD Projekt Red understood. The story started off by saying Sony Interactive Entertainment has confirmed it will give players Cyberpunk 2077 on PS4 or on PS5 via backwards compatibility refunds for purchasing the game. So, all in all, this all leads to, you can get refunds through PlayStation. But I'm pretty sure Sony must have been like, look, this game is a disaster. It does not look good. It does not work well. Like, go take your time, guys, and go look up on Twitter or Reddit or anywhere the bugs that were in this game on last-gen consoles. They're still there, even on a high-end PC, but especially on last-gen consoles. Go check them out. It is it's unbelievable that this was even happening. And so I'm sure SIE understood that this was going on, and they're like, we cannot deal with this. Pull the game so no one can buy the game again for now, so that way we don't have to issue out any more refunds and just take care of the people that literally just bought the game. So they did this. SIE, they let out a statement and they said, SIE strives to ensure a high level of customer satisfaction. Therefore, we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased Cyberpunk 2077 via PlayStation Store. SIE will also be removing Cyberpunk 27 from PlayStation Store until further notice. Guys. No Man's Sky was not removed from the PlayStation Store. Anthem was not removed from the PlayStation Store. Fallout 76 wasn't removed from the PlayStation Store. Like, these are just 3 examples of games that really did not do well when they first came out and were a huge disappointment and were really being criticized for a lot of the lies and just false advertisement of the games that they were delivering on. And they never got pulled from the store. This is getting pulled from the store. I know it might seem like I'm being over the top about this one particular story, but guys, this is unlike anything we've seen in the history of the video game so far. It's unbelievable. It is so unbelievable. They continue by saying, once we have confirmed that you purchased Cyberpunk 2077 via PlayStation Store, we will begin processing your refund. Please note that completion of the refund may be varied based on your payment method and financial institution. And then that followed up with an update from the board of CD Projekt Red commenting on the fact that Sony yanked the game from the store, and they said, all copies of the game previously purchased digitally on PlayStation Store remain available for use by the respective buyers. Confirmed CD Projekt in this statement. Gamers can still buy physical versions of the game in retail and mail order stores, and they will continue receiving support and updates. So, I mean, look, the game got pulled from the store, but if you still have the game, you're still going to be getting updates and support. So, I mean, look at that as a silver lining. I don't know, dude. This is bad. This is bad. And this is still going, okay? Continuing on, again, IGN and bankers, Xbox is expanding the refund policy. The story starts off with this. Xbox has expanded its refund policy for Cyberpunk 2077 to ensure that anyone who purchased CD Projekt Red's latest game digitally from the Microsoft Store can be fully reimbursed. It almost seems like Xbox is wanting to take more of a consumer-friendly approach, just to make sure that, you know, they don't get any heat at all. And I think they just want to show the fact that they support CD Projekt Red in all this, or more so, they just want to support the fans of their respective console. So it's unbelievable. They continue by saying, to ensure that every player can get the experience they expect on Xbox, we will be expanding our existing refund policy to offer full refunds to anyone who purchased Cyberpunk 2077 digitally from the Microsoft Store until further notice. While we know the developers at CD Projekt Red have worked hard to ship Cyberpunk 2077 in extremely challenging circumstances, we also realize that some players have been unhappy with the current experience on older consoles. And lastly, this is a big one. And this is the newest story from the day. Again, IGN. This is from Joseph Knoop. CDPR is going to refund out of their own pocket. It's just, this is what they said. They put out a statement. We've just started reaching out to people who send us a message with confirmation of receipt. We send these emails out in waves, so don't worry if you don't receive an answer immediately. At the same time, we like to know that our intention is for every owner of a physical copy or a digital copy bought at retail who has valid proof of purchase and sends us an email at helpmerefund@cdprojectred.com within the time window to receive a refund. We will do this out of our own pocket if necessary. If you are unable to obtain a refund for the game from the store where you bought it, please contact us via email until December 21st. As this is a one-time initiative, we will provide everyone with next steps only after the refund request submission window closes. Guys, this is quite the debacle, and I know that this is not all the stories and everything that's been going around. There were in the open interview the open call that they had recently, like I was talking about the release of this game. There was developers that were even going after their own management because of the fact that they were asking, why was there so much crunch? Why did this happen? And they have every right to be disappointed. You, as a consumer, have every right to be disappointed as someone who's trying to get this game and that was very excited for this, because we all were led to believe that this game looked great, ran great, was going to be this big, ambitious thing, which it was and is, but it is probably too ambitious for last-gen hardware. And the only thing now that we have to ask is, how do they recover from this? How does CDPR recover from this failure? It is pulled from PlayStation Store. It is still on the Xbox Store, and you can get it on PCs. How do they recover from this next year? We're going into the holidays. The time of this recording, guys, this is December 18th. We're getting into the holidays. A lot of places are going home and, celebrating time with their families. Is CD Projekt Red going to spend time with their families, or are they going to have to stay working to make sure that this game is up and up? I highly doubt they're going home to the holidays. And unfortunately, with all of that, like I said, how do you bring this goodwill back? I don't know if you can. Right now, they look like a company that lied, that twisted the truth a bit, that honestly were trying to be a little schemy in the way that they let the messaging of this game go out. Like, if anyone deserves a bonus, honestly, it's probably their promotions team, because of the fact that they did such a great job duping everybody. But if anything, it's just, what do they have to do? And the thought, that you think about is, do they just cancel the last gen console version and then just start working on the next gen console version to get that out as quickly as possible? Is that what they do? Or do they try to make like the first set of DLC free for all the fans? Like, they better do something big in regards to all of this. They have to do something. And with all these refunds, how much refunds are they having to give out? Are they starting to lose money again? I don't know. There's so many questions about this. And I know that there's some people, if you go on Twitter, and I know I keep saying Twitter, I'm just on Twitter way more than anything else. When you go on Twitter, you see people that are actually still enjoying the game, but they're playing on PCs. And so obviously this game is meant to be played on such a high-end build like a PC. And that's where you can enjoy it, but not on consoles right now. So again, I want to know what y'all's thoughts are in the comments down below. And you can also hit us up on Twitter at Ambitious Casual and let us know, what are your thoughts on everything going around Cyberpunk 2077, guys. This is unbelievable. I usually the shows are 50 minutes long. We're already getting 30 minutes on just the first story. And I don't know how much longer this can last. We're getting into the holidays, like I said. News is going to start dying down. IGNs and all of them, they're not going to be uploading stories. They're going away for the holidays. So how much of this is just going to be, like skirted under the rug so that way, maybe everyone will forget by next year? No, I don't think everyone's going to forget. So how do they bounce back and how do they recover? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Now we are finally on story number 2. Jesus. The Nintendo Indie Showcase happened this week. And pretty exciting. I didn't get to watch them. I was unfortunately working. I was going to say playing games. I was not playing games. I was unfortunately working. But I am touching back on it right now. Looking through some of the games that were released. And I'm not going to go through all the descriptions because I don't want this episode to go way too long. But these are the games that are going to be set to release. What does that button do? Oh, right. Never mind. Go back. Anyways, I'm on the Nintendo website. This is where they're showing the featured games that are at the Nintendo Indie Showcase. We got Spelunky and Spelunky 2 are coming to the Nintendo Switch. Fistafluffs, Very Very Ballet, Tunchi, so Lil Wayne, Tunchi, Cyber Shadow, Calico, Alba, A Wildlife Adventure. Which interesting that this game is coming to Switch because I just got a notification a couple days ago that this was on the Apple Play Store. I mean, the Apple Play Store, the Apple Store, the game store. I don't even know what you call that anymore, but I know that was there. Nausea, Happy Game, Super Meat Boy Forever, Grindstone. Grindstone is great. I played that on the iPhone a lot. When the Past was around, Cosmocrats, Hoa, Hazel Sky, Trash Sailors, Finding Paradise, and the big one, guys, because this game has only been on PC and it has been just completely overtaken, almost like a tsunami in all of Twitch and all streaming and YouTube and gaming, all that. Among Us is coming to the Switch before it's even coming to consoles. It's unbelievable and actually really exciting. So shout out to them. At the time of this recording, it's already out, so you can already get it on the Switch, which is really, really cool. So Among Us coming to Switch, but we're not stopping there. The Among Us news continues. Among Us is also going to be coming out on Xbox Game Pass for PC. Well, it's already available. Let me correct that. It's already available on Xbox Game Pass for PC. And on 2021 to Xbox Game Pass for console. For console. So it makes you stop and think to yourself, okay, if Xbox Game Pass, I mean, if Among Us is coming on the Game Pass for console, is it exclusive to the Xbox for a while? And does that mean it's not going to be coming to the PlayStation? Or maybe within a time exclusivity? I don't know. Interesting something to think about. And that came straight from the Xbox Wire. You can find that on news.xbox.com. So look forward to that. If you have the Game Pass and you play on the PC, get it on the PC Game Pass. And again, this Among Us news is not stopping. One more story covering this. We're at Polygon's Austin Goslin. I don't know how to think about this, guys, and this is a pretty interesting story in and of itself. Fortnite's new limited time mode is basically Among Us. Again, this is coming from Polygon's Austin Goslin. Fortnite has been infiltrated by spies, and it's up to you and your crewmates to discover their hidden identities before they can pick up players off one by one. If that sounds familiar, that's probably because it's the exact same premise as Among Us, a game that found breakout success in 2020, but it's now also the foundation of Fortnite's new limited time mode called The Spy Within. The Spy Within starts with 10 players who are divided into 8 agents and 2 spies. Each player only knows their own role when the match starts. Throughout the match, agents will work to complete tasks that earn them gold coins. Does this game not sound like Among Us to the T? If the agents earn enough gold coins or identify all the spies, they win. The spies, on the other hand, will work to secretly eliminate each agent without revealing their identities. Whenever agents see anything suspicious, they can call a meeting. During meetings, everyone in the game can voice chat with each other to determine which player to vote out. This is very interesting because of a couple things. One, I don't want to be the guy that's like, look, Fortnite only copies everybody, because it's not necessarily true. Among Us is not the first game to be like this mystery kind of game. They're not the first ones. I know that there's other people before them, but they're obviously the big one. The monster right now, okay? They're the big kahunas of the video game scene. And for Fortnite to copy them gets me a little scared, and here's the only reason why. Fortnite is so big. So big. We literally just saw Thor. What am I talking about? We did see Thor. We literally saw Kratos from PlayStation, Master Chief from Xbox, both cross over into Fortnite as playable characters. They have such a big stance. They have such a huge stance. They have limited time events. They have concerts. They have big movie review trailers. Like, this game is more than a game. It is much bigger than the game. And for them to go as far as to even want to copy something, this right here in and of itself can show that Fortnite may even have the possibility of taking something down, because they just have that much of a widespread in the cultural phenomenon of all video games. And so what makes me scared about this is the fact that could this lead to the end of Among Us? I don't think so, honestly, but it's something that you need to keep an eye on, because it can take these big giants to take out the smaller guys, and then they just continue going on. You know, it's almost like when you see, you know, major corporations take over, you know, your local mom and pop shops, and those go out of business, and the only ones that are left behind are the big corporations. And this is one of those things right here. Can this happen? Is this a thing that can happen? It's a little scary to think about. And I wonder how much this like Spy Within affects Among Us players. And is this actually being played or streamed? I haven't really seen if people are streaming this at all recently. So it's just weird. And you know that Fortnite has copied a lot of other things. I know when Apex Legends first came out and they had the ping system, not that that's a new thing, but I'm just saying, when Fortnite when Apex made a ping system, right away Fortnite added a ping system. When other games at the like certain revivals or things like that, Fortnite does it. Like, they always copy, but unfortunately they can do it at a much greater scale and be seen at a much bigger scale because they're Fortnite. Fortnite is huge. So keep that in mind. Keep a lookout for that, guys. And let me know, have you played The Spy Within? Is it fun? Let me know. Will I try? Maybe, if it's fun. We're moving on to story number 4. This is coming straight from EUROGAMER's Emma Kent. UK politicians suggest legislation to stop PS5 and Xbox Series X and S scalping. This is a interesting story. If you remember the beginning of the releases of the Xbox Series X and the PS5, or even going a little further back, the pre-ordering situation and how hard it was to buy pre-orders because scalpers were jumping on them as quickly as possible and no one had an ability to even get their hands on one. And these scalpers would literally sell them for 2 times, 3 times, maybe even 4 times the amount of what it actually is. It's not okay, unfortunately. And I don't care if you're the kind of person that says, okay, well, they make their money off of it. You can go get a job anywhere. Like, you don't have to do scalping. That's not like your end all be all only job, unfortunately. You know, you can tell me all you want in the comments, but I don't believe that. You can do other things other than that. So, Emma Kent, she said, she reports since the release of both the Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5, stories of scalpers and scalping groups have dominated the headlines, with seemingly no consequences for those doing the scalping other than a tasty pile of profit. But now a group of politicians hopes to take action as several MPs, this is members of parliament, have put forward in motion in UK Parliament to prohibit the resale of consoles and PC parts that are significantly overpriced. The reason why PC parts is here because we saw the same thing with the RTX 3080s, 3070s, 3090s, all that kind of stuff. As spotted by VGC, the motion tabled by 6 Scottish National Party SNP MPs calls for the government to introduce legislation to prohibit the resale of gaming consoles and PC components at prices greatly above manufacturers' recommended retail price. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. The scalping cannot be a thing. These guys would buy the game, use the bots, scalp all these consoles, sell them for $1,500, make profit. Make profit. And I kind of wish that we can see like the Xbox or PlayStation come out and say stuff about this. I know they probably don't want to. I think the only reason why is because, I mean, honestly, they benefit off of scalpers because they know that they're getting their money because these guys are buying all of them. And after that, they don't have to worry about it anymore. But again, I want to see these guys come out and say something about scalping and kind of like put a shame on that. And I'm really hoping that with UK putting some sort of importance on this, and you know, it's great to see that people are wanting to fix it. To see them put an importance on scalping to stop it, I want to see that come cross overseas to the US. We need to stop scalping on all fronts, everywhere. Scalping is just not okay. It's not cool. It's not fun. There's so many people out there that work hard to save up their money to get these consoles just for a bot to sweep up and pick them up. That's not cool at all. Story number 5. Google Stadia comes to the iPhone and iPad with a new iOS beta. If you don't remember, Google Stadia, even Xbox Game Pass, is having trouble trying to get their apps on iPhone just because of the fact that Apple's just being dumb with, okay, they want to make sure that all the games that are on their storefronts are being rated individually by Apple. And so there's just so many layers to that. That's a whole nother story in and of itself. So with all that being said, you can finally play Google Stadia on the iOS. But the only way you can do that is through web services. So the story says Google Stadia has finally made its way to iOS over a year after launch. The company's mobile web beta for the iPhone and iPad, first announced last month, is launching today. That means any Stadia user on either its free tier or its paid Stadia Pro subscription will be able to access their library of Stadia games on Apple devices. I went and I downloaded not downloaded, you can't download it. I actually went and I went on the website, signed up, I'm in. I'm on a trial right now, checking it out. I haven't played anything yet. But what's funny is that if you want to play Cyberpunk, supposedly everyone's saying that Cyberpunk runs extremely well on Google Stadia because it's being clouded from a powerful PC somewhere else in the world. So don't forget that. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, these are the solutions that we're having to see for people to kind of go around Apple. And I mean, we remember seeing what happened between Apple and Epic and them wanting to put up a fight to stop such high percentages being taken away from creators on the App Store. And so we know that Apple can't be messed with. And these guys know that they have something on them that's important. Hence, Google Stadia, i.e. Game Pass. So they're going to do what they can. I know Xbox is also working on a web version of the Xbox Game Pass to be playable on phones like this. So that way you can go around the fact of having an app. So you know, that's cool. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you an iPhone user? And is the news of actually having Stadia be available on your phone such a cool deal? Don't forget, if you go online, you can download the home, you can get the actual home screen of the Stadia website and then apply that to the front face of your home screen on your phone, and it practically works as an app, so you can continue going back to it whenever you want. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Are you guys excited for Stadia? If not, let me know too, because I would actually really like to know. And for the last story of the day, guys, for some reason I thought we were going to go a lot longer today, but it looks like we're not. This week has been very, very low on news, just because one, everything's been CDPR related, and we're getting close to the holidays, so things are starting to slow down. Lastly, story number 6. Riot is working on a League of Legends MMO. That's it, guys. All right, thanks for watching. No, I'm just joking. All right, so League of Legends is working on a MMO, and this just came nonchalantly from Twitter. This is what the story says. This is from PCGAMER's Sean Prescott. Riot Games is recruiting for a massive, in quotes, massive new game project, which we learned today will be an MMO set in League of Legends Runeterra universe. The company's VP of IP and Entertainment, Greg Street, nonchalantly confirmed it on Twitter today. This is what he says. My recent job at Riot has been to help develop the League universe, which we're going to need because it is time, he wrote. My new job is to kick off a big, some might say massive game that many of you and many Rioters have been asking us to create. When asked bluntly whether the game is an MMO, they replied, it is an MMO. So there you have it, guys. Riot is working on a League of Legends MMO. I've only played League of Legends a handful of times, not too much. But MMOs are exciting games. I've never really played an MMO myself, and they never really grabbed my attention. I've been wanting to jump into one, but I just never really found one that spoke to me. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. What do you think about this? Are you guys actually excited for an MMO? I know that Riot is also working on like a fighting game. Like they're working on so much stuff right now. So they have their hands full, and we'll see when we can see this MMO, like a teaser for it. Maybe the end of next year. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys. I appreciate it. If you have any questions about anything that we talked about today, leave them in the comments down below. I try to respond to everybody as quickly as possible, so I'll try to respond to you. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you're on podcast services, thank you for listening. If you're watching this video, hey, what's up? Thanks for watching. This is the last video game beat of the year, guys, of the year 2020. Thank you all for joining me on this ride of finishing off. I think this is like technically like episode 10 or 9 of the video game beat. So it's been fun. I can't wait for next year to see what next year has in store and how we can grow the video game beat as not only a video podcast, but also as an auditory podcast. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Don't forget, you can find the video game beat at all times on Saturdays every week, except for the next 2 weeks because we're off because of holidays. But don't forget to follow, subscribe, share, like, comment down below. And we also have Twitch streams, guys. Those are at twitch.tv/ambitiouscasual. You can find anything regarding Ambitious Casual on social media. Just search up at Ambitious Casual. You'll find it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. So until next time, guys, y'all have a good night. Peace out. Keep playing those video games.